Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. We are going through the book of Numbers, and today we are actually dealing with Numbers. Okay, that's why the book is called Numbers, is because the people were numbered. Not only once, but twice. Okay, and today we're talking about the second census. There's a reason there's two censuses in the book of Numbers. One takes place before everyone dies off in roughly 38 years between the two censuses. In the first census, it was all count of all the fighting men that were aged 20 and older, and they were counted for the purpose of so they would know how many was in the military and that could fight. Okay. Then the second census takes place after about 38 years, and this is after the generation has died off. Everyone, God said, if you're above, this age, you're going to be dead. You're not going into the promised land. And so there was a mass, you might say, there, and I'm entitling this today, Another Day, Another Funeral, because realistically, you would have experienced during those 38 years just funerals every day, okay, with the people dying off. It doesn't, when we look at this today, it doesn't seem, there was a change in the population, and it doesn't look like that significant. But you have to compare it to the population explosion that was happening among the tribes of Israel before that, okay? They went from, a family of 12 to all of a sudden, this nation that was millions. Okay, so you had this population explosion. Then for this 38 years, you have basically the population stayed close to the same during that time, and this is to show you, God said that this generation would die off, and they did die off. Okay, and so that was one purpose of this second census. The other one was so that they would know how to divide up the land. So some tribes were bigger than other tribes, and so they would get more land, naturally. And so that's why this second census takes place. I'm going to read here today, and this is entitled, like I said, Another Day, Another Funeral. And I'm going to be reading from Numbers 26, verses 12 through 56. This is a long section, and I'm not going to read every word of it because it's listing off all the families and all the tribes, the clans, the family names and the clan names and so forth. But I'm going to go over each tribe and talk about the numbers in each tribe, so you kind of get a picture of that, and then we'll talk about kind of the total and the difference at the end. And so yesterday, remember, we had started out and we started reading chapter 26. And in chapter 26, I read about the tribe of Reuben. And that's where we had, the two guys that rebelled against Moses. And we had talked about that yesterday, that how would you like to be remembered that way is what it was entitled. And how those guys, we read about them earlier, how they rebelled against Moses, and now they're dead, but it's just another reminder. These are these guys, and these are the reasons they died. Okay, so what a way to be remembered for that reason, and to be written about after your death for that very reason. Okay, so we're going to pick it up in verse 12 here today. And dealing with the tribe of Simeon, you read down through verse 12. It says, these are the clans descended from the sons of Simeon. You're welcome to read all that today. I'm not going to read all those names because, man, I butcher up some names sometimes, and this is asking for the names to be butchered up. Verse 14, though, says, these were the clans of Simeon. The registered troops numbered 22,200. So these are every man that can fight that is of the age of 20 and older. Okay, if you're crippled, you're not included in that, or if there's something wrong with it that you can't fight, you might be an amputee or whatever, then you're not included in that. Okay, then you have the tribe of Gad, verse 15. These were the clans descended from the tribe of Gad. And you get all the way down to verse 18. It says these were the clans of Gad. their registered troops numbered 40,500. So they have like double the population that Simeon has. All right. Then you have the tribe of Judah, and then it goes down and it says there was 76,500. Okay, so that's not quite double, but pretty close to double of what Gad had, and then like almost 4 times, just about 4 times what the tribe of Simeon had. So you can see these huge differences in the population between these tribes. Issachar in verse 23, these are the clans descended from Issachar. And it says in verse 25, these were the clans of Issachar. Their registered troops numbered 64,300. The tribe of Zebulun is next in verse 26. And it says these were the clans descended from the tribe of Zebulun. In verse 27, it says these were the clans of Zebulun. Their registered troops numbered 60,500. You have Manasseh and Ephraim. Manasseh and Ephraim are next. And remember, they are sons of Joseph. So Joseph essentially has 2 tribes here. All right. But you have the tribe of Manasseh had 52,700. Okay. Huge amount there, considering he was a son of Joseph. And so, and then you have Ephraim. And the clans of Ephraim, their registered troops numbered 32,500. Then you have Benjamin, who was the youngest son of Jacob, and his clans were registered troops were 45,600. The tribe of Dan had 64,400, and that's from verse 43. And then we have the tribe of Asher, and in verse 47 it says their registered troops was 53,400. Okay, and then Naphtali, their registered troops was 45,400. Okay. And then I'm going to pick it up in verse 51. In summary, the registered troops of all Israel numbered 601,730. 601,000 troops. So these are the fighting guys. If each of these guys has one wife and then let's say, 2 children, you're like over 2 million just for that. But they had more than 2 children. Okay, so verse 52, we're going to go all the way to 56. Then the Lord said to Moses, divide the land among the tribes and distribute grants of land in the proportion of the tribe's population, as indicated by the number of names on the list. Give the larger tribes more land and the smaller tribes less land, each group receiving a grant in proper proportion to the size of its population. But you must assign the land by lot. Give the land to each ancestral tribe according to the number of names on the list. Each grant of land must be assigned by lot among the larger and smaller tribal groups. Okay. Warren Wiersbe, in his book, he talked about the difference in the tribes, that total number. The total number, remember, the first census actually had 603,550. The second census, the population dropped 601,730. So roughly about 2,000 drop in population. Okay. Again, when you look at that and you think, oh, the population didn't change in 38 years. You have to look, though, at the population explosion that had happened in the generations before that, starting with Jacob and his 12 sons that first went into Egypt, and then how that population just exploded with that. And then you get to, these past 38 years as they're wandering in the wilderness here. And as they're wandering in the wilderness, the population actually goes down by 2,000 soldiers. So that's an amazing thing. And it's what God said would happen. So realistically, if you were in that time period, and I had written, it's another day, another funeral, there'd be funerals happening like every day, and sometimes I've had in my from my college friends and roommates, I've had several of them pass away in the past few years here, and so it's like, oh man, another roommate died, another college friend died, and you're sad about that. But imagine this happening like every other day. There'd be another funeral. because of the population decrease. And that's what God had said. That was a consequence. And these are consequences of their unbelief and whining and complaining about going into the promised land. Going way back when the 12 spies were sent out. And this is a result of this. The 12 spies were sent out, and then they came back and gave the report. And the people were like, oh, no, we don't want to go in there. And God said, okay, you're not going to go in, you're going to die. And the younger generation is going to go in and inherit that land. All right? Don't be a whiner. So, hey, thanks for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue talking about this second census here. Lord's blessing. I'll see you tomorrow.